Hello friends, today's daily clinical tip video is about a remedy which you all are using therapeutically as a worm remedy. Yes, right. Today's remedy is Cina. I would like to put few of the very important points, few of the prescribing points which you can use in your daily practice, and I think those points will be very helpful for you all. So now let us try to understand the core feeling of Cina. How and why does this Cina personality comes in this world? First of all, when a pregnant mother faces certain situation, these personalities like Cina, Econite, Belladonna, XYZ personalities, they are born because of some background which is there in the mind of pregnant mother. Now for Cina personality to be born, the background which is very important is when a pregnant mother is in a situation where she is constantly being forced for something. She doesn't want to do things, but she is constantly forced to do something, and she is constantly being reproached. So these situations are not like very light. These situation of being forced, so they are of very much high intensity. That is why this personality of Cina is being born, right? So now when this Cina personality is born, this Cina is very sensitive to certain situations. Like you cannot manipulate Cina, okay, in any ways. Physically, mentally, Cina doesn't want to be handled. You cannot handle, Cina cannot bear to be handled. This is very important rubric of Cina. Cannot be handled, does not want to be forced. Very important things. Okay. So in synthesis repertory, there is this rubric ailment from forced from being. So the remedy mentioned is Cina. Very important rubric. And this is the situation which brings the or which creates the Cina personality. If this situation happens in the pregnancy with a pregnant mother, then welcome Cina. So now Cina, when I studied this remedy Cina, I found very less or no intellectual rubrics. I found only emotional rubrics. And what type of emotions? Anger, fear, and weeping. Oh, only these three emotions are mentioned in our repertory. So when certain personality is forced, so the reaction of being forced is either fear or either anger or weepy, sulky mood. Okay. So in three ways Cina is going to react. But mind you, fear is not much of a magnitude in Cina as anger and other things. Okay, this is very important. Fear is there, but lesser in amount as compared to anger and weeping and other varieties of mood. Okay, intellectually, I feel that Cina is not much developed. Why? Because Cina doesn't have its own decision. Once he wants this thing, the other time he wants that thing. So there is no persistence, anything which is there in Cina. So I cannot say that Cina is very much intellectually developed. I don't see any intellectual rubrics as well in Cina. Okay, so the Cina, when there is ailment from forced from being, or ailment when Cina is reproached, so it goes into a state of fear, and that fear is fear of being touched. Very, very important. Cina doesn't like to be touched. If at all Cina is being touched, the reaction will either be fear or anger. Depends. If this depends upon the state of mind of the Cina at that particular time. Fear of touch, fear of being approached. Approach means doesn't want to be examined, even doesn't want to be looked upon. Very, very important, very sensitive, very sensitive. Okay. Then with anger, this is constant anger. There is constant anger in Cina, and Cina cannot be quieted. Quieted cannot be. Very, very important rubric. Always remember, Cina cannot be quieted. Okay. So any physical complaint, yes, and Cina has a problem with interruption and hindrance also. The rubrics you can read upon in the repertory. So hindrance cannot tolerate, interruption, aggravation is there in Cina. Any type of hindrance or interruption generates anger in Cina. Okay. So any physical complaint which arises in Cina because of certain emotion like anger also gives further irritation when Cina is not able to do his daily activities. Any constipation is there, it irritates Cina. If there are worm complaints, it aggravates or it causes anger in Cina. If there is cough, it again causes irritation in Cina. So any physical complaint which hinders the life of Cina, it creates anger and irritation for Cina. Okay. Another important thing is Cina is being very haughty and contemptuous. So contemptuous for everybody. This is the rubric for Cina. You do anything for Cina, you will receive contempt. So you will be like very much irritated. So Cina spreads irritation around the environment. Once you see the presence of Cina anywhere, you will always be irritated. Even how the child is crying and weeping, it is like so much irritation. So if you watch Cina crying, like you will feel like give something. So this is how you feel when you see a Cina personality or a Cina child. Not only Cina child, the adult also is highly irritable, highly irritable. You cannot cope up with an adult Cina. So you have to move away. So that much amount of irritation is there in Cina. Then because of this, yes, contemptuous nature of Cina is there. So because of this contemptuous nature, Cina doesn't like to receive help. So refusing help. So what happens when the help is needed? So when help is needed, Cina clings to those persons who are near to him. Okay, tries to cling. Anybody, even though unknown, trying to cling. But at the same time showing contempt. Okay, no gratitude for anybody who is helping Cina. This is important. So yes, anger is all the more prominent than fear in Cina. So Cina irritates the whole environment, I already said. Yes, so how the interpersonal relationship of Cina will be affected. So when Cina is irritating the whole environment, everybody will avoid Cina. First they will try to cope up, but Cina will bite the tumbler. Biting tumbler means those people who are helping him, he'll irritate them. He'll irritate them to the core, and finally they will leave Cina. So interpersonal conflicts, leaving Cina, forsaken feeling in Cina is one rubric. So Cina cannot bear touch, will not take, yes, since the Cina is not able to bear touch, when the doctor is coming, he will not allow the doctor to touch. Even if you give medicine, that touch of the medicine is also not bearable. So the refusing medicine, he will be highly irritable. Many of the times I tend to give the single dose directly I give on the tongue. So these Cina patients, they are very difficult to put drops in the mouth. They'll try to resist. So, and the parents will try to overpower them, and then and only they'll take this. So this is very, very important reaction of Cina child. So they will never accept this medicine. If the physician is coming to the child few steps, then this child will start crying. So this is fear of being approached. So this is how is the reactivity of Cina. So anything which is inside, anything which is foreign, which is touching Cina will irritate. So imagine worms, how much irritation these worms will be causing to Cina. Okay, so these worms which are foreign, and Cina is harboring these worms. So imagine how much irritation this child will be having because of so much sensitivity to touch. Okay, so like what is the worm situation for Cina? This is very, very important thinking process. Like what are worms? Worms are certain people, certain persons which you are harboring or which you are nourishing, but at the same time they are trying to take advantage of you. This is the worm situation. Or somewhere or the other, Cina must be facing such situations. That is why the worms come into the system of Cina. So there might be certain people, there might be certain persons whom Cina is taking care of, whom Cina has supported somewhere, but they tried to take advantage of this Cina personality. So because of this situation which happened in the life of Cina, the worms entered into the Cina. So this is the understanding of worms at the level of mind and at the level of body for Cina. So friends, happy prescribing. Please like and subscribe. Happy happy prescribing, and please like and subscribe to my channels. Please spread knowledge. Thank you one and all.